All right, let's go. Okay, so this week's Parshas Seitzi, okay, which talks about many mitzvahs, many commandments. This week's Parsha. It's amazing. You go through the Parsha, you'll find many mitzvahs, many commandments that's given to us, but we'll focus on one of them. If we, as time permits, maybe we'll talk about others. As of now, we'll talk about one of them. Okay, what actually is? That's the whole talk. There is a mitzvah, okay, when the person has built a house, okay, and you have a flat roof. What's the mitzvah? The mitzvah obligation is a commandment to put a fence, a gate around the roof. Why? It's a pretty simple reason. That's right. You only owns a fall.
By the way,
Yeah.
if he has a flat roof and only if he's planning on getting on the roof, if the roof is not planned to get to or have access to get on the roof, um, they you're not obligated to put marquee.
Interesting, because you can't. The point is that you shouldn't fall. If you can't
Right.
get to the roof anyway, then there's no
Right.
point, right? So
Right.
roofs that have the flat roof, a house has a flat roof, you're obligated to put a gate around the roof. Okay, that's the mitzvah of this week's part. Now, there's another mitzvah, or that's the question: is it a mitzvah or not? Which is you shouldn't cause death in your house or blood. Don't cause blood to spill on your house. So is it two mitzvah? Is it one mitzvah not to no, sorry, one mitzvah to make a gate around your roof and another mitzvah not to cause blood to spill on your house? Is it two mitzvahs or one mitzvah?
So
Well,
it's mitzvat aseh and mitzvat lo taseh.
correct. Now the question is like this, or the way you look at it, there's a rule, okay, a mitzvah that is a reason. Let's see here. Just one second. Yeah. If you have a mitzvah, a Torah gives you a commandment, and Torah gives you a reason why you have that commandment. Is that another mitzvah? No. A mitzvah and the reason of the mitzvah is not two mitzvahs. Okay, if Torah gives you a commandment and then Torah gives you a reason why you have that commandment, it's not a separate mitzvah. Like, for example, just enter my head right now. You eat a matzah, okay, on Pesach. Or I know you eat corn Pesach. The reason, because you have to remember going out Mitzrayim, is that a separate mitzvah? I mean, don't certain is it two separate mitzvahs? Eat matzah. Maybe sometimes it is, but certain things, certain mitzvahs, the mitzvah and the reason of the mitzvah. Is it two? And answer the Rambam Paskin, the Ramondes gives a rule that if it's a mitzvah, a reason for a mitzvah, it's not a separate thing. But here, in our case, it's two mitzvahs, as Jabal mentioned. There's a mitzvah say to build to make a gate, and another a positive command to make a gate around your roof, and a negative command not to cause blood.
So couldn't it be the same mitzvah but just divided to two?
No, that can't be.
Okay.
No, sometimes it could be, but not here.
Okay.
For example, Shabbos.
Yeah.
There's a mitzvah to keep Shabbos and not desecrate Shabbos. There's two mitzvahs.
Yeah.
Here, that mitzvah has two parts to it, but here it seems like if it's a reason, why is there a separate mitzvah? The reason why you shouldn't have a gate is because you shouldn't cause death. Very simple. Ask anybody. Ask any person. Say, why does Torah say make a gate around your roof? And it'll tell you because you shouldn't cause death. Very simple. But practical. You have a roof. It's dangerous, as you just mentioned. You can go on the roof, and if there's access to the roof, you can fall. So put a gate around it. Why are you making the reason another mitzvah? Right? So this is a question that somebody wrote to the Rebbe in a letter, and the Rebbe addressed it. So the Rebbe said, maybe you can give an answer, maybe a maybe answer, a suggestion, Right? He says that right? A make believe Another answer you could. What's the answer? If you want to cause someone not to die, not to. There's a few ways of doing it. You don't have to make a gate around your roof. You can make the house lower than 10 tefachim, which is lower than I don't know, lower than 36 inches. That's pretty small. Or you can make your house lower into down into not higher than the street, lower than the street. That wouldn't need to put a gate around your roof. You can make your roof a slanty roof. You wouldn't need a gate. My house, a slanty roof doesn't need a gate, only a flat roof. Mm-hmm. So there's other ways of avoiding the issue of causing death. So the fact that if someone chooses to have a flat roof, so then he has another mitzvah of not causing death. So kind of two, you can explain why it's two separate mitzvahs, right? One mitzvah put a gate, which don't cause death because there could be other ways to avoid the death, right? That's a seemingly good answer, huh? but Rebbe says that's not a good answer. Why? Because that the Rambam has a rule. Okay, it's interesting. How many mitzvahs? If you ask somebody, how many commandments are there in Torah? A regular person who knows will say 613 commandments, right? Regular 613 commandments. If you go through the Torah, you're going to find much more than 613. You're going to find many, many more than that. You're going to find hundreds. So the question is, what defines a mitzvah? What makes this a mitzvah? What makes that? When do you say this is a command? This is not a command. What's the rules? There must be rules. So the Rambam, I think, has 14 rules, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe something like that. Maybe more than 14. What is a mitzvah? What makes a commandment a commandment? And he gives many rules. It has to be a mitzvah that applies forever, not a temporary, like, for example, a mitzvah that's only a time being, like when Jews in the desert, they shouldn't leave the manna overnight or something. That's not a mitzvah. That's not a 13 commandments because there was only when Jews lived in the desert. A mitzvah has to be able to be done all times. Okay? That makes a mitzvah a mitzvah. It has to be a mitzvah that you can always do. So, and the Rambam counts another rule. One of the rules is that a reason of a mitzvah is not a mitzvah. And the mitzvah, mitzvahs, and if the reason of a mitzvah is not a mitzvah, and then the Rambam explicitly counts these as two separate mitzvahs in his. And if the whole reason, no, the whole point of not causing death, if the whole point of of having the gate is not to cause death, then why is he counted to two separate mitzvahs? So you must say there's two separate things. But anyway, so what's everything in Torah is a lesson. What lesson can we take from this? There's a roof, a house, a roof. Very nice. It's a nice thing. I personally don't have a flat roof on my house. So what is irrelevant to me? I'm not sure, right? How many people, I mean, there are people who do, but a regular person, I don't think, has a flat roof on his house. Anyway, so what lesson can we take from this? So, the Rebbe explains like this, that a person has a life, and he has a different different circumstances, right? He goes through his life. He changes, a person is he's living in one part, then he changes his schedule, changes his job, changes his changes his location, whatever. People change in life. You go to a different situation, different state. Or a person went most of his life, he lived an observant life. It was good. I was fine. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm fine. The answer is no. You always need to put a gate around you. You never a person can never say that he's confident that he's not going to fall, not going to slip, not going to, right? Even if a person most of his life he was okay, doesn't mean he's fine for the rest of his life. You always have the challenges against you. I never feel confident. You always have to stand strong. And and the person is going to a new situation, he has to realize he has to protect himself. So there's a general example and there's a particular example. The general example is a person who was a yeshiva boy. Okay, his whole life was in studying and learning Torah, and then he goes out. He finishes. You're not in yeshiva the whole life. He goes out to the worldly matters. You're going out to the worldly matters. You're going now. You're leaving your the walls of yeshiva life, and now you're going to go into world in the world. Protect yourself. don't let the outs, don't let the temptations pull one down from where he's supposed to be. Or that's in general, but every day you have it. In the morning, a person prays, and he prays to God. Then he learns some Torah, and then he's going to go out to the world and do his business. He has to make sure he's going out to the world. You need a protection. You need a guard. You have to take it. Don't think I prayed, I'm fine. No, you're good. That's very good. You prayed, wonderful. But make sure don't spill blood on your house. Put a gate. Have strong resolution, strong how you say, is that right word? Resolve, strong decision in your life. I'm going to put a gate around my roof. I'm going to put a gate about myself. I have certain principles. People respect someone who has principles. When you have a person has strong in his decisions and he has a principle, people respect. A person is wishy-washy. One day flip-flop, he loses respect from everybody. So a person needs to be strong in his mind, and in order to protect it, not to fall and not to slip, he has to make a gate around himself. And and a person has a proper gate, the proper fence, then he won't, God forbid, fall. Blood will not spill. What does it mean, blood? Person doesn't have Devorah. It's like the Satan's evil inclination is like a Satan who wants to kill someone. He was trying to destroy you. He's trying to skill Yetzer Tov. He's trying to destroy you. You have to stand strong against it. You have a strong resolutions. Okay? And now, what's the idea of a roof in spirituality? A roof is higher than who you are, higher than the level that you're in. It's above. That's a roof. Above which a mica is higher than you are. When you put a mica, when you make a gate, you have to make a blessing. When you do a mitzvah, you make a blessing. Okay. Now, what's the idea of a blessing? A blessing is the Hebrew we say bracha. Bracha. Bracha is the idea of in Hebrew you have the word hamavrich es hagefen. Hamavrich, you want to make it like you take grapevines and you want to connect it and make more vines, right? Drawing down you take the branches and you put it into the ground, and you make it go up again, then you can make it go longer and longer, the strip of your grapes to make the vine go longer. So you take it and put it into the ground, the branch in the ground, then it grows up again, then grows more, then you put it down, and it goes. You want to make it long, extend your grapevine. Hadith of bracha. You want to bring down more blessings from God. When you say a blessing, you bring it down a revelation, a certain light from heaven down. That's hadith of bracha. Hamshacha, draw down light. So you're drawing down light from God, and then you come more connected to God. So you get some meaning to say when you make this marker, you make this gate around you. It means you tap into a higher level. It's a higher level than you really are. You have to tap. So you make a strong resolution every day, go out to the world, and that way that protects you. And you can't say yesterday I was okay. Yesterday is yesterday. Today the evil this Yetzer Hara doesn't give up. He's always trying, and as long as one's alive, he's on top of you. They say, I mean, it's not what it says here. I'm just saying in general. They say there is some concept of the better day of death than the day when he's born. The question is why. The person died. The life is over. The Yetzer Hara can't make trouble anymore. As long as one's alive, we don't look that way. But as long as one's alive, you have it. The temptation is there, and never be confident with yourself. And I'm okay. I can do this, and I won't be. I can look at this, and I can do that, and I can do the other, and I won't be affected. Don't be so certain. I mean, it says by the great one, the Kohen Gadol. You know, you go into the high priest went to the Holy of Holies on Yom Kippur, and if you weren't a complete tzaddik, you didn't come out alive. They used to have the Kohen Gadol went into the Holies on Yom Kippur. They had chains around him, and if he didn't come out, they knew he died. They used to pull the chain, pull him out. Yeah, many times in Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol passed out there because he wasn't holy enough. He wasn't pure enough. There was this Kohen Gadol, and he was there for 80 years. Can you imagine how many times he went in? Each Yom Kippur, you go 4 times. So let's plus 4 times 80, right? How many times that is? He went to the temple.
320.
Sorry?
320.
320 times. Can you imagine how holy he was? And then he came a heretic. He came bad. He came evil. He came sour. After 80 years, means it's 100 years. He must have gone to call us. Let's say 20. He started, so he's probably 100 years old at minimum. I don't know, maybe more than that. And he came a heretic. He came right after 80 years. So, what I'm trying to say is that a person should never be comfortable with himself. He always has to take on resolutions, be strong, and take extra precaution on himself. And that's the idea of making this gate, this gate around your roof. Okay, and this is also a lesson for us in general. Every Rosh Hashanah, it's coming Rosh Hashanah soon, we take upon ourselves extra resolutions. You're perfectly fine last year, didn't do anything wrong. So why do I need to make a resolution this year? I'm good. I didn't do anything bad. I'm perfect. Why do I need to be better this year than last year? And the answer is, you're going to a new year. You need to make yourself extra stringencies, right? And this is because every Rosh Hashanah actually comes down a new light in the world that never came down in the world before. It's a new light. A new revelation is coming down on the world. This Rosh Hashanah 5786 is a new light going to come down, which the world never saw before. And for that great light, we need to prepare ourselves and take extra resolutions to receive this holy light that's going to come down. And okay, and now, if a person, as we mentioned earlier, is going out from his yeshiva life, or every person going into from his, in the morning praying, and then he's going to go into the world, he needs to have strong rule, discipline on himself, make extra resolution, something he's going to be better. And there's always room to improve. Everyone knows that. There's always room. You're perfect one day, you'll tell the Rebbe, you did this, did that, did the other, say, oh, well, that's wonderful. Now I want improvement. All right. And that God gives you the ability to help you going. It's not just a command and that's it. God gives us a commandment, he gives us the strength to pull it through. He doesn't just give you a commandment. He gives you a commandment, but it also comes the word, he gives strength to do it. Like it's this actually at the beginning of this week's Parsha, it says, if you go to onto war over your enemies. And the question is, why say over your enemies? You go to war with your enemies or against your enemies. Why say on your enemies? It's a kind of not a it should say. If you go to war with you, why say you go to war over your enemies? And the answer is given because a Jew, if you connect yourself to God, you're over the enemies. You have the upper hand. God's on your side. If you're on top, you always have an extra advantage, right? If you're on top of your enemies, and practically speaking, in a practical war, if the one who's on higher has an advantage over the one who's lower, right? The one who's high is always stronger, always better, always a greater advantage. So a Jew is on top. He's on top of the real enemy, the true enemy of the Jew is the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. He wants to, he does. He's very smart. He called it a smart aleck. A really nasty trick. He makes as if he's your friend, and convinces you to do this bad, and he wants you. And then what's he do? He goes to God and says, "Hey, look at that person. He did this and this wrong." he convinces you to do bad, and then he goes and beats your prosecutor. And that nasty. That's a real. The worst enemy is someone who makes as if he's your friend. Right? That's the worst enemy. If a guy's your enemy and you know he's your enemy, you keep away from the guy. But if the enemy makes as if he's your friend, then you tell him all the secrets, and then he he uses all that against you. And this is what Yetzer Hara does. He tries to get the person to do averos, do something wrong, and then he prosecutes. Like it says, this angel, who are Yetzer Hara, who are Yetzer Hara. He's a Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination who convinces you to Satan. Then he goes and prosecutes you from heaven. He goes and tries to be a prosecutor. And then on Malach HaMavis, he wants to take your life away. All the same trouble. So don't be smart. We have to be smart and not listen to these convincing of the Yetzer Hara. Know what God wants us to do. Do what God, and you know what? We have the ability to do. Because God gives us the strength. It might be hard, but God gives us the strength to overcome it. There's no test, that person, a situation that God's given a person they can't overcome. Because if you cannot overcome it, God will not give it to him. The fact that he has that test is a proof that he's able to overcome it. I'll just give you a story to illustrate this point. I guess we'll finish off with that. There was, the olden days when you traveled, you needed to take your money with you. Today you can go take a credit card. You can travel no money. You better travel. Hey, you want to get stuff. You go there. You have your credit card and you buy everything with your credit card. But the old days when you traveled to the market, you took all your savings with you and you carried the money with you to buy your merchandise. It wasn't a credit card, anything like that. So this guy traveled all the way, and he came to the market. And he opens up, he wanted to buy stuff. These people used to save, that twice a year they had the market days and they saved all the earnings, a lot of the earnings, and they traveled to the market day, bought their merchandise, went back to the town and sold the stuff. It was a whole, you live for the next 6 months from this market, the fairs, they call it the fairs, the Yerid in Hebrew, or the Yiddish, whatever, the Yerid. And that's how that's how they used to make their livelihood. Many merchants, Jewish people, do these things. Anyway, so this Jew traveled to the big fair, and he comes to buy his stuff. Goes in his pocket, to take out his wallet, and it's gone. And the guy was, my money. Oh yeah, that's great. Go, my money's gone. And he fainted. They arrive him, they pull water and they revive him. And then as soon as you realize what's going on and his money, my money, what do I do? My whole life, my money. And boom, again, fainted. And they went on and on and on. And every time we woke him up, he fainted. People said, the doctor was saying that if this continues, he's going to die. There's no way he can't survive. He's going to die. He can't take it. He can't take the fact that he lost his money, and there's no way he's going to survive. And there was a Rebbe, a great righteous, a holy man over there who lived in town. They told the Tzaddik, the righteous, the holy man, about this story. And he said, okay, the next time you wake him, he gets a word telling his money was found. Just tell him his money was found. Okay, they woke him up again from his faint. And as soon as he realized that where he is, what happened? My money. They found it. Yeah, they found it. Yeah. Oh, he relaxed. And then every time he gets nervous, where's his money? Again, they told him, your money's found. Was it found? Really? Not really. But anyway, after a while, his money was found. Someone came, yeah, we found your money. And they brought him all the money and everything. He got this money, his whole wallet was found. He got it back. They went up to the Rebbe, this great righteous person. They said to him, wow, you have Holy Spirit. How did you know that this money will be found? How did you know that? How did you know? What made you tell? How are you so confident that his money will be found? How do you know? He says, very simple. No, you don't have to be have a Holy Spirit. You don't have to be a holy man. This is obvious. Simple. Why? Because I was told that this guy cannot handle that he lost his money and he won't be able to live. He can't live if he realizes his money stolen. That means he has a test he can't handle. That's impossible. God will not give a person a test they can't handle. So I knew his money would be found. I knew that. It's just obvious. It cannot be. It's impossible that God's going to give a person a situation they can't handle it. The fact that he got that situation is the fact that he can't handle it. That means he doesn't have that situation, and that's actually what happened. So, why am I getting back to what we're talking about here? That God gives us all the difficulties that we have in our life. God always gives us the ability to overcome the challenge and be strong and we have the ability to overcome the situation that we're in. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining and have a good week. And soon's come Rosh Hashanah, so put it in your calendar. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Simchas Torah, and I hope you can join us. I think you can join us for the dinner next week for the 50th anniversary and the dedication of a new Torah to Chabad House of Ann Arbor. It's actually was started to be written here in the stadium, on the right by the stadium. It was written, and it's going to be finished here by the union, and then we're going to have a dedication to Chabad House. So it will be, I guess, the Torah dedication. I think it's like 8:30 on Monday next week. If you register for the dinner, we'll love to see you on 5:30 on Monday, and wish you all the best this week. Bye bye.
Thanks. Hey, Rabbi.
Yes.
So the truth is, not putting the fence is really, so there's a mitzvat aseh, which is shmirat hanefesh, right? V'nishmartem nafshotechem,
yes,
which you must do. And by not putting the fence is kilu, it's like you don't do what you it's like mo'es beratzon bor'o. It's like not doing what הבורא רוצה שאנחנו נעשה, that we keep our souls, that we keep ourselves. And that's why we need to do that, because it's in Hebrew, it's called asur lezalzel.
Right, you can't just, yeah.
So that's that. And you're right. It's like, I remember that when I was young, שלא נסכן נפשותנו על סמך הנס.
That's right.
So you have to do everything that you can to protect yourself and don't rely on a miracle to protect you.
That's right. You have to do derech hateva in natural means.
Yeah.
You have to give you a blessing, God's a blessing, but you have to do what you have to do.
Yep.
Very good. Thanks for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.